Hey, what's up guys? Back again with another video in the Java series. This episode I'm going to show you how to work with enumerations and show you how they are basically the same thing as a class. So anyway, now that we know how to make enumerations basically and do all the cool stuff with it, like using switch statements, if statements, all that kind of stuff, make variables and everything, we now can understand that enumerations are basically just like a class, except there's small differences, like you don't have to declare it with like new, like the new keyword, and yeah, so there's a little bit of differences. Maybe we'll look at those in a second. But the fact that the enumeration is basically like a class gives us a lot of power because we can declare instance variables like we do in a class. We can have methods inside of our enumerations. We can have constructors inside of our enumerations and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's really, really fascinating. So yeah, and objects are use that constant of the enumeration. A constructor is called for that specific constant, I guess you could say. So anyway, don't worry, I'll be showing you in a second. I'll show you right now actually. So we're gonna go ahead and make an enumeration up here. Let's call it enum. We'll just call it colors, because I'm not creative, so I'll just use what we used last time. So colors, and inside of colors we'll have a bunch of colors. So we'll do red, pink, yellow, orange, blue, navy blue, and then green. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so I told you a second ago that we can have instance variables inside of our enumerations because it's basically like a class, of course. So if you don't know what an instance variable is, it's just the variables that you declare inside of a class usually. So we're going to declare one here. We'll call it private int. Oops. Private int. We'll just call it price. Because I can't think of anything else that is associated with a color. So we'll just call it price. So let's say you're going to buy these colors at the store. I guess each of them could have a price associated with them. And we have we need a semicolon here apparently. I don't remember needing that last time, but anyway, so I guess you have to have a semicolon there. Sorry. So we can have these, of course, and then we can also have constructors, and that's really cool because now, like I said, whenever you use one of these constant objects in and down here in your other methods or threads, a constructor is going to be called separately for each one of these. So let me show you. So we're going to make a constructor here. So we'll call it, well, we have to call it colors. That's how constructors work. So, oops, colors, and then we'll give it a parameter of int p, okay, and then within int p we'll have price equal to p, okay, cool. And up here we get an error for each one of these constants because like I said, these are each objects. So that means whenever you use one of these constants up here, you have to call the constructor over here, but also you have to realize that the constructor is taking a parameter, and none of these have parameters with them, so we have to give them parameters up here. So by each of these, you put a parentheses here, and then we have to give them a parameter because that's what it's asking for. Okay, so we have to get rid of that error by doing that. So awesome, we can give these parameters now. So let's just give them a number, each of them. So 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 5, 7. Okay, so each of these have a parameter now, so the error goes away. So that means, let's go down here, and let's say that we declare an enumeration here. So we'll call it, we'll do colors, and then we'll call it color 1 equals, and then we choose which color we want to use, obviously. So we'll call it colors dot, and we'll do navy blue because I like that color. So navy blue. And of course, like that. So you don't have to have a thing here, like put the parameter here because it's already set up here. So right. So anyway, so the parameter is already defined up here, so you don't have to use it down here. And so that's because it's a constant, so you can't really have the parameter down here anyway. So anyway, so now that we called this here, now that this is made, when the program comes to this line, it's going to run this constructor. So it's going to run that constructor and it's going to put 5 in there, and so price is going to be equal to p. So yeah, that's cool. And then that obviously is going to be the same for each of these. If we were to call any of these other constants, then the constructor would be run for each of them whenever they're made, of course. So that's pretty cool, right? So let's make another. We can also do like regular methods in here. So let's make a method here. It's called let's do it int get price, and we'll say so So you get price, and this will just return the value of the price of the color that you're trying to get. So return price, okay? So what this will do, let's try calling it now. So color1 dot get price. Oh, we got to put this inside of an output, of course, because it's returning the number, not outputting it. So we'll do color1 dot get price. Then what that's going to do is output the price that is associated with this, so 5, right? So let's print that out. Awesome, so we get 5. That's really cool. So yeah. So yeah, we can have methods in here. That's pretty cool. So, besides methods, what else can we have? We can also have overriding methods. So we can override the constructor too if we want to. So let's try overriding the constructor. So let's say that for some reason we don't have a parameter here. So let's make an overridden constructor for that, so we can account for that. So colors, and then like that, and then we'll do price is equal to -1. So if it doesn't have a parameter, then it'll just automatically set it to -1. So let's try doing that. So we'll call it orange. So we'll do colors, color2 equals colors dot orange, okay? And then we'll output that color2 dot get price, and we should get -1 if that worked correctly. Awesome, so that shows that the overridden constructor works perfectly. So let's say maybe they have 2 parameters. Let's see what that does, okay? So we have 2 now, and we get an error because we don't have a constructor for that, so we'll make one. So colors2, or colors, and then we'll have 2 parameters, so we'll do int p, and then we'll have int p2, I don't know, just make up a variable here. So private int price2, okay, and we'll say price is equal to p, and then price2 is equal to p, and you get the point. So yeah, that works. We can override whatever you want. You can do whatever you want, right? We could do most things that a regular class would be able to do, and yeah. So let's just recount whatever we did. So we added an instance variable, so we can do that with enumerations, and then we added the price. Oh yeah, that was the variable. And so we also added constructors here, and then we override those constructors, and then we added a regular method here too, and then we added you could add parameters that go into each constructor whenever they're called. So that's pretty cool. So each constant has its own parameter. So that's really awesome. So you might be wondering, what can't the enumeration do that a class can do? Well, it can't inherit another class, and then it can't be a superclass. So yeah, it can't be extended or anything like that. So that's what it can't do. Okay, so now that we know how to do that, we can now look at the methods that come with every enumeration. So we have the first one. This is called Ordinal, and that is a weird name, but what it does, it just returns the value of the constant. So think of each constant like an array right now, so like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Ordinal, you just call it on whatever constant you want, and it's going to tell you where it is inside the constant array kind of thingy. So if it's, let's say for example, you're calling the ordinal of orange, so it's going to say it's going to return 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's what it's going to do. So let's test that out, right? So let's go down here. Let's do output. We'll do color2 because that's associated with orange right up here. So we'll do color2.ordinal, and that should return 3. So yeah, we get 3, and that's how the ordinal works, right? Really simple. It's just going to return which constant you're invoking, basically. So now we have the Compareto method, which is just a method that tells you, it's basically a method that compares the ordinal number of any 2 constants. So let's say we compare the ordinal number of red and pink. If it returns negative, that means that red is lower than pink. And if it's bigger, if the number returns a 0, that means that they're the same. And if the number is bigger, that means that the red is bigger than pink. I mean, it's a little confusing, but we'll see. So let's call it here. So we'll do output, and we'll do we'll say color2 dot compare to. So we'll do colors dot blue, and then we'll output this and see what we get. So we get a negative number, meaning that the one here is going to be smaller than the one you're comparing it to. Okay. So let's try comparing it to itself. So it's calling orange. So we'll do orange to orange. So if that returns 0, that means that they're the same value. So yeah, we get 0. So let's compare one that's smaller than color 2. So that should return a positive number when the one you're invoking is bigger than the one you're comparing it to, right? So what is color 2? That's orange, right? So we'll call it yellow. So we'll do colors dot yellow. Okay. So yeah, we get 1. So that means it's bigger, and yeah, it's really simple. And then also we have a method called equals, which is just a way of comparing the ordinal value of two constants, basically, but it's a little different, right? So let's see. Basically we would use this in like an if statement or something like that. It's a comparison, so we could do like colors 2 dot equals. Oh wait, we have an error here. Oh, color 2 dot equals, and then we put in another color, so we could do color 1. So if this returns true, that means it's, yeah. So it's just going to return true or false, basically. That's how that works. So if it's the same thing, then it's true. If it's not the same ordinal value, then it's false. That's how that works. So yeah. So anyway, I know that was short, but we're actually done with enumerations now. I mean, I'm sure there's like small things you can learn or like small programs that you can work with to understand it better. But if you understand all these concepts, that means you know how to understand enumerations basically in its entirety. So yeah. If you have any questions, don't worry. I hope you just leave a comment, ask your question. Also, we have a Discord that you can come and ask questions or just chill with us, whatever you want to do. It's in the description also, or it's in the description. And then if you liked the video, just leave a like, and yeah. And then if you want to see more, subscribe, and yeah. So peace.
My eyes closed, hoping this ain't make believe.